everybody out there in the internet world, now or in the future. I am just going to be discussing counter conditioning to loud noises, and the reason that I want to talk about this, I've actually been wanting to talk about it for a week or so people can prep, but I finally got time now, and we're going to do it. If you have any questions or anything, go ahead and put them into the comments, and I will answer them as we go. I do have a little volunteer. Let's see if I can get her to not be camera shy. She got a little tired now. So, Akasha! Yes! Hi! Good girl! I decided to use her for this little demonstration because she is going through her second fearful phase. So we're kind of working her through what we call counter conditioning. Counter conditioning is just basically getting an animal used to something, but usually it's associated with some type of reward or reinforcement situation. Desensitizing would be when you just expose them to it and hope for the best. Counter conditioning is when you kind of associate that bad thing with a good thing. So what I'm going to do is eventually I'm going to present some noises, but first we want to talk about the things you need to do to prepare for the upcoming fireworks if you have a dog that is frightful of those things. What you want to do, you want to actually start prepping beforehand. You want to get loud noises. If you can mimic those sounds as best as possible, the better. Target. So right now I'm just getting her excited, and then I'm going to eventually actually do something scary, but that'll come a little later. Another thing I suggest is contact your vet probably right now, as soon as you can. Hi. Yes. Good girl. As soon as you can, because you need those meds on hand as soon as the fireworks start, which now will probably be in the next week or so, if not already in some places. And you want to get that medication plan going to help at least calm and alleviate their issues during the more critical months and times. So that's the medical side. That will be discussed with your veterinarian. Then there is the counter conditioning side. So the way counter conditioning works is basically you follow a bad thing. Let's see. Oh yeah, I meant to have this over here with me, this little empty bin, because it'll make lots of noise. There we go. So see, I just kind of dropped that. It makes noise. She is in her fearful phase, so she's pretty scared of anything that was unusual. Will get unusual. So the bad thing happens, and I followed up with a good. The reason we want to do that, the bad always has to happen first, because the bad thing will then be a predictor that something good is happening. So basically, it'll be bad and then good. And you can see she's already kind of like shifting away from the bin. She's not liking this little game. We're also going to keep that in mind. I'll come back. So, target. Good girl. So basically, the bad thing has to happen first. One thing that sometimes people make a mistake of is they'll kind of do the good thing first. Like, oh, here's the fireworks about to happen. Let's give you a treat. But you're good. If the bad thing happens first, if the good thing happens first, then what you're going to do is you're actually going to taint the good thing with the bad. Because whatever happens first, the second thing will affect the first thing. So if a lollipop is always followed by the gunshot, then the lollipop's a predictor that that gunshot's going to happen. And then, good. And then the lollipop becomes a scary thing. You'll bring that out, and they'll run away. When I was in the zoo field, we'd see this all the time. As soon as if a keeper tried to trick an animal in, instead of kind of just working with them slowly to come in, then basically they would associate that night food or night treat as a trap and then run the opposite direction. So you want to avoid doing the good thing first. You want the bad thing to happen, and then the bad thing, and then you click. And now she's not even flinching about it. That means I can up the ante, make it a little bit scarier and scarier when I'm just trying to counter condition her to random stuff happening. Good girl. So the big scary thing happens. Now I'm using my clicker to do a marker. You can also use your verbal, just to let them know that nothing bad's happening. You do have to program a marker, whether it's a verbal or a clicker, to always be followed by the treat. Good. Yes, she's watching it. She's like, I don't like that thing falling. I don't like that at all. So yes, so you want, when fireworks are happening, I would suggest having treats on hand, and every time one goes off, and I mean, when I say treats, I mean high value treats. So there we go. High value are things that the animal really, really wants, more so than just a standard milk bone. I might even bring out cheese and whatnot. The dog might get a little gassy, but it's better that than long existing trauma. We're going to up the ante for a little girl here. I know. Oh no, I knocked it over again by accident. There you go. Good girl. Let me go put that up. So, so where was I? So basically, you want to have that high value treat ready to go. Good. Yes, it's in a weird spot, huh? Go explore it. You want to have that high value treat ready to go around the house as best you can. So that way, every time the fireworks start going off, it starts associating as a good treat thing. There we go. Just even moving that a little bit causes fear. So I'm just showing right now how counter conditioning works. Bad thing happens, scary thing. She's in the fearful stage. Pups have a few fearful stages, or we also call them socialization stages. You'll see them a bunch of different ways. But the general rule is they tend to be more scaredy cat than they are otherwise, or more nervous about their environment. Good girl. Yeah. Good girl. Yeah. Let's get that wiggle going. Yeah, it's going. It's going, but there's treats involved. Okay. So that's just the basics of what you want to do. I will incorporate things. A lot of my clients know the bucket game. It's an activity I started doing with some client dogs, in particular for that were fearful or aggressive or certain things, to get them to focus on a thing. You can look it up online, bucket game, dog training, and you'll see how to do it. But basically, you want to set that up before the fireworks come, and then you might be able to get them to focus on a thing rather than the big scary thing. So that's another aspect that I would add as well. Akasha! Yeah, you want to come back on camera? Target? Good. I'm not good. I am going to do a scary thing. I shouldn't say that. Yeah, I know. You're already nervous. It's okay, baby. That one was really scary. Now, this brings up another point. Hi. When you are counter conditioning them, hi, how are you? Come here, baby. Come here, baby. When you are counter conditioning them, you need to pay attention to your learner, your puppy, whatever animal it is. You want to basically make sure you're not doing a thing called flooding. So I'm going to give her a break because that chair falling was super scary. So flooding is when you push too far, too fast. And what ends up happening, you mean to cause them to be a good, you're trying to push them to their limit, because when you're counter conditioning, you kind of want to push near their limit, but not past their limit by any means. And if you're flooding, you're going past their limit. The example I like to give a lot is if you're trying to counter condition somebody from arachnophobia, what happens is you slowly show them a picture of a spider, then you maybe show them videos of spiders, then you have a spider in the room, and then eventually have one out of the cage, walking on table. Maybe you even get to the point where they're touching the person. But flooding would be, instead of gradually going up to there, you actually just throw the spider on them. And generally, that's going to make the problem worse rather than better. So when you're counter conditioning your pup, I would say do this slowly, make loud noises as best you can. If you have a stereo system that can mimic the fireworks sound and they react to it or something like that, then maybe you can do that in a controlled way. And just ease them into the idea of that sound. Look at this little wiggle butt. Okay, you're feeling better now, sweetie? Good. So we ease them into the sound. If they stop taking treats, you've hit their limit. They're at what we call threshold, and they are not going to be learning anymore. You just want to back off. Actually, I was running into this today when we were counter conditioning a dog to a muzzle. We hit the limit, and we just were like, you know what? Now's the time to stop. We've hit that limit, but we can, since we didn't go past it, we didn't cause a flooding incident, then the next time will be better and better. I'm going to do this one more time, sweetie. Yeah, you're watching that chair. You're like, that chair fell down and went boom. I did not like it. I'm going to make the chair go boom. Good girl. There you go. Chair's going boom. Good job. Now, just remember, whenever you're trying to counter condition, the scary thing happens first, followed by the good thing. That's how you want to get that conditioning happening. You want the bad thing to predict that this good thing is happening. If you give kids shots, but you give them the lollipop first, eventually they're not going to like lollipops because that means a shot's coming almost every time. If it becomes a reliable predictor that something bad is going to happen. So those are the basics of it. Counter condition, make sure you have your treats ready so that once the bad thing happens, you can be there with treats to create that association. If they are past threshold, there is no learning happening. The best thing you can do is try to mitigate the sounds with curtains, maybe going into the basement, things of that nature. Also, talk with your vet now. Get it already in the books that you can get your medications, because a lot of vet clinics will be on vacation during the 4th because they also have staff that like to go to these events and things of that nature. So get your medications now if you need them to help your furry family member through the process of the 4th of July. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I'll try to get or the comment section of whatever you're listening to this in, or you can email me. It's been floating down at the bottom of the screen for those that are watching this live. whitbuckman@bbbehaviors.com. You can also call me at 620-805-9429. But yes, these are the basics for counter conditioning to things of fireworks in nature. So hope that helps anybody out there. If you have questions, let me know. Bye.